Hi, everybody. Time for a quick look inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Nick Voll. Like many of you, I am social distancing, so we are doing this from home, but we have a lot of good information for you today. We've had a lot of questions about teaching and learning during this extended break, and so today we're going to focus on teachers. Of course, we're going to have lots of other information to bring you, but we're going to focus on learning today. Teachers have technically been off duty from last Monday to this Wednesday, with those days made up at the end of the year. Starting Wednesday, they'll be back on duty working from home. They'll be expected to prepare optional learning materials to share with their students. The district also has its own list of materials on its website. Again, these are not mandatory, but are optional resources for parents. There have been a lot of questions about online learning, and the district is working on a plan for that with guidance from the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction for the state of Washington. It hopes to have a plan in place by the end of spring break. All right, I'm joined now by Sally Kroon, a fourth grade teacher at Harney Elementary School. Obviously, Sally, in your living room there. How are things going in quarantine?
Hi. Yeah, this is an interesting time for sure. I am at home, obviously. I have two young boys, and so we are finding all kinds of ways to stay busy, but also stay at home right now.
Sure. And then as a teacher, I would imagine it's pretty hard to be away from your students.
Yeah, it was extremely surreal. We are a week in, but on Friday, the last Friday when we got the news, just right at the end of the day, it was um, such a strange feeling to quickly get that news that we were closing and that we had to send students away, and to think on our feet about what there's no way to prepare for how to gather a class of fourth grade students or first grade students or 12th grade students together and say, hey guys, we are very unexpectedly not going to have school for the next 6 weeks at least. And to do that in a way that is careful with our words and let students know that we care about them. And we, as teachers, are quite frankly really sad and worried that we are sending our students away and didn't have time to plan and prepare and to get things ready in the way that we would have wanted to. So it is definitely an interesting time right now.
What was your message to your kids? Because obviously you don't want to frighten anyone. You know, they're likely going to be fine. It's just a matter of getting them, isolated. What was your message to them?
hmm Yeah, so with our fourth graders, many of them had kind of heard about what was happening. They knew a little bit. And so my co-teacher and I gathered our two classes of students together and talked about just really briefly about how the governor had given us direction that all schools were going to close in order to help us stay safe, in order to help get the schools cleaned, and in order to help prevent the spread of germs in a way that would get a lot of people sick. We had a number of students who automatically had tons of questions, and so we answered those as carefully as we could with what little information we had at that time. But really, our goal was we care about you, we love you, we miss you, and we want to be able to hear from you as we're able to throughout this time away and stay connected, because school is going to look different.
Sure. So now you're home. Obviously, you're taking care of your own family, but you're also trying, as I imagine most teachers are, trying to be productive and help your kids as much as you can. You're technically not on duty right now, but you will be in a couple of days. What have
Mhm.
you been doing, and what are you looking forward to being able to do as your work duty resumes?
hmm Yeah, so I feel lucky in that my students, we have been using digital tools all year long. And so my students are really well versed in what it looks like to communicate and post their work. We use Seesaw, an online learning platform that was very much a part of our daily life before. At this point in time, their iPads are still in the carts in our classroom. So I have to realize that. At home, their situation may not be a personal iPad for every kid at this moment. What I have been able to do is just do some check ins and send some messages home to families and then offer some optional choices for them. As a mom, I'm looking at what does it look like to fill the day up with some learning for my first grade and third grade boys, And I know that every family is in that same situation. And in no way do we want to put the pressure on and say, oh, now you need to replicate school at home. But I know that there are at least some families out there who are looking for some guidance and some recommendations. And so as a teacher, I have shared some optional things. Here are resources to get kids able to read. Here are some of the tools that we used in class for being able to access digital books and learning resources and how to access your math materials. All kinds of things about here are some choices for you. If you need more information, let us know. And I've definitely been hearing back from families of saying, hey, thanks, we appreciate that. And, oh, tell me more about this. And then having kids post things also.
Mm-hmm. Because, you mentioned, your students' iPads, some of them are at school. Equity is an issue. There's a lot of parent questions. Why isn't there this program in place to do online learning? And a big part of it is not every kid has devices. And then, of course, we discussed before we were recording here, the equity issue. Could you kind of explain that to people who don't understand?
Yeah, so in many ways, we are well equipped to transition to online learning, and there's also a significant gap still. And that idea in that if we are providing instruction for some, that's not all. And we have to be able to do instruction for all students across the board legally. And so when we think about students who have really specific learning needs, students who are on IEPs, who are on 504s, who have very specially designed instruction, it creates a significant challenge for how to do that via a remote or online learning experience. And so I know that those questions are being discussed at the state level, and we're kind of awaiting some guidance from that. And in the meantime, we are providing some optional opportunities. But knowing that not every student has a device, not every student has access to reliable Wi-Fi, and many, many families are scrambling right now to figure out what their new normal looks like. They are facing challenges with work and stability and huge fears and anxieties that are coming up right now. And so looking at how to best support families, but know that there's a lot of barriers to just going to, hey, everyone now go do online learning at this point.
Sure. And high school students maybe can self-guide more, but when you get down to younger students, how are they supposed to use a device without someone over their shoulder assisting them?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think as a mom who is a teacher, I'm already like, I feel the pain of, okay, what does that look like? How can I best support my own kids? And then also feel kind of tethered to I've been working a lot from my phone and from my computer, bits and pieces here and there. And it's definitely a shift at looking at what does the traditional workday look like for school to how are we going to do this in a realistic way when it's totally different than how it has been.
Sure. Sally, is there anything I haven't asked you that you feel like is important for people to know?
Really just that we as teachers are really, really concerned about our kids and wanting to stay connected with them. And we know that we're going to have to get creative to do that in different ways. And so we want to partner with our families to be able to do that the best ways that we can. We're trying out some fun different things. We've got a virtual spirit week going on right now on our Harney Facebook page. A lot of us are doing just kind of normal check-ins that we would do. We used to do community circles in our classroom, and you can't all sit together in the same room in a circle right now. But one of the things that's been really helpful just for me to feel like I can be in touch and communicate with kids. We, in our community circles, always did smiles and frown check-ins where students would just quickly do, here's a smile from my week, here's a frown from my week. And I posted in our Seesaw class a smile and frown check-in, and it's been so special and heartwarming to see the thread of students posting just their quick, here's my smile. I played with my brother on the trampoline all day, and my frown is that I don't get to go to school. And knowing that personal touch of what school is, we're gonna look for ways to still be able to do that.
Well, great, Sally. Thanks for taking some time out to talk to me today, and I hope things keep going well for you at home.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. For parents of students with special needs, the district is focusing on maintenance of IEP skills. Beginning this week, parents will get an online learning resource from the Special Services Department, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, there are a lot of things happening in the district, and we're going to do our best to share all of that new information with you as it comes out. Thank you for watching. I'm Nick Vole.